Hey guys, it's Elena Supreme here. And for one, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for viewing. I really appreciate it. And if you're back, hello. Oh my god, thank you for viewing me again. I really appreciate it. And today I wanted to get down into something else that's very serious. So last video I was talking about a guy who got discredited because of his sexuality. And something I realized I never talked about, which was something called the Willie Lynch theory. So I'm gonna break this down into three parts. The first part, I'm gonna read you the speech. The second part, I'm gonna break down what I seen in the speech. And the third part, I'm gonna give you a solution. Now, I'm gonna throw a few disclaimers out before I even get started. One, this is not a video for only black people. This is a video for people who has ever been enslaved with these methods. Okay, the methods that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Two, this video is not something to be taken lightly. This video is about a problem and a solution. And I volunteered to start getting out there, making this message more and more and more and more noticed. And I challenge you, the viewer, whether you say it to your friends, your families, or you're doing videos, or you have this large platform, I challenge you to challenge everyone else to continue this movement. Because for one, we did not know about the Star Spangled Banner, but there was something even worse before we got there. So let's get into it. So on my Facebook, which I'm gonna be reading from my Facebook, here is the speech by Willie Lynch. I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south of James River, named for the illustrious King James, whose Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your program is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along the old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. I caught a whiff of dead slaves hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the field too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee everyone of you that if installed correctly, it will control slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or any overseer can use it. I have outlined the differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy to control slaves. These methods have worked on my modest plantations in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take these simple little tests of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live on the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine or coarse hair, is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adoration, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black versus the young black male, the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your servants and overseers just trust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kids are the keys to control. Use them, have your wives and children use them, never miss an opportunity. My plan is guaranteed, and the good thing about this plan is if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. That's the whole speech. So that's part A. Part B. His main points. He uses fear, distrust, and envy to control purposes. Now, how many of you watching this video ever felt that they were in fear of something, control, envy, and distrust? I have, okay? I won't even necessarily get into the whole religious aspect, but I definitely have experienced that in a religious aspect. And if you noticed here, they said, in the year of our Lord, King James, okay? And how many of you guys worship and love King James Bible? Okay, so, they talk of just very vile things. Although they talk of love, they talk of very vile things. And now if you could see of how Lynch really displayed how he wanted to control slaves, he spoke of only trusting a certain type of people. Make sure that they're only trusting and that they need a certain type of people. And I mean, maybe I might make a whole different video for this part, this section of the conversation altogether, but only that? Really? Dang. Okay, now then he said, I take these differences and make them bigger. Now, how many of you have seen these differences grow bigger, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, your friends, school, your colleagues, anybody, your work people, the type of disputes that don't make any sense, okay? So I won't blame capitalism, because I have a feeling that some of you will blame capitalism. Capitalism it's just who's qualified based on credentials, broadly to say. But without the Willie Lynch theory, it's basically just that. So we have to not only see how much these differences are there, we make them bigger, we have to also see that within ourselves. And let's talk about the West Indies. First, the West Indies had it. They had it. So now I have an understanding why when I see West Indies people, why this theory is very embedded. Also, people from the South, why this theory is very embedded. Because these people got the teachings, okay? So the people who are going through the most suffering, excuse me, are from these places. For one, you got the young black male versus the, what did he say? The old black male versus the young black male. How many of you do that to yourselves? Oh yeah, you just old. You just mad because you old. Oh, you think you know something, youngin? Let me tell you something. A child's place. These are just a few concepts to throw out there. Dark skin versus light skin. I could sit here and just make a whole video on that. Okay, passing the paper bag test. Oh, you're not dark skin enough. Okay, you're not black enough, Cassandra. You're not black enough, Elena. You're not black enough. Okay, you can't hang with us. You can't sit with us. You don't have enough melanin. Oh, you mad because you dark skinned. You just mad because I look better than you. Can we just talk about what's on the media right now? Let's talk about love and hip hop. Actually, I don't want to talk about it. If you watch it, you're aware of it. My mama kept me away from all these black people. Okay? Okay. My mama kept me away from them. Okay? The female versus the male. Oh, I don't need a man. I could do this by myself. Y'all lost some deadbeat dads anyway. Y'all ain't here for y'all kids. I could do the same thing a guy does and better. Guess what? All you guys ain't nothing. All you females, y'all just dots. Okay? Y'all just dots. Y'all can't do nothing for me. Y'all don't offer me nothing. Money over hoes. Bros over hoes. What's another one? You must also have your servants and overseers to trust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves entrust and only depend on us. Okay. My aunt. And I forgive her. Because I forgive all. Okay? Because I understand. And understanding is love. Okay? But we got to fix something. But anyway, getting back to it. My aunt used to tell me, you can't trust no black people. Black people ain't worth a damn. Black people ain't shit. Black people just lie. You can't trust black people. Okay? Black people always gonna envy you. Okay? What that sound like? Okay, they must love, respect, and trust only us. I don't even know how to properly get into that because there's a bunch of people like Umar Johnson and things like that that talks about that, which I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says in totality. Our messages are different yet very similar. Okay. And then, have your family use these methods. And then let's not forget, this plan is regenerating, self-regenerating. So once these methods are embedded in our minds, they're in our subconscious. So you out here preaching black love, black acceptance. If you ain't get rid of these programs, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not really doing it. Come on now. Oh, hair. Oh, I forgot to talk about hair. Girl, hair. Oh my God, you need some dark and lovely. Why would you cut your hair? Oh, you look better with straight hair. Why don't you get weave? Oh, who will you not be? what that sound like. I can sit here and I could just have a video called what that sound like. Because honestly, what does that sound like? It's and this is evident in not only the black culture, the Asian culture, whether Asian be Korean and Vietnamese or Philippines or Bengali or Pakistan, anywhere that this Willie Lynch theory holding people came and enslaved folks, that's where it's at. Okay, that's where it's at. All right, that's what happened. Okay, and that doesn't mean that. Oh, let's get into it. Another part. Oh, you can't marry her. She white. You can't. What? That doesn't make any sense. You gotta work for us black people. Doesn't that sound like you must trust? Wait. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Isn't that manipulating? That is a manipulating statement to put on anybody. So no, that's not acceptable. Okay? This is for all people. All people I'm speaking to. Okay? This is not only for colored folks. Women were indentured slaves. Oh, I can't do it. You're a man. You're a man. You're more powerful than me. I don't have the ability to do it. I'm just a woman. A little. And let's not forget how many times they put a woman as a damsel in distress. Oh my God, he stole my bag. I need a rescuer. Oh my God. The male against the female. Okay, so this thing runs incredibly deep and it is incredibly self-generating. And because it is this simple, which simplification is the highest form of sophistication. It's this simple, that's why it runs so deeply. Because, you know, in our minds, we like to make purpose and continue to use different we take a concept and we believe it and we put it into everything. So they put this concept in our minds, ingrained it, and now we use it in anything and everything. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna have some opinions about our black shows like Love and Hip Hop and things like that, and the media's perception on black people or Negroes, okay, whatever terminology as you would like to use it, colored people, okay. It is important to be aware of this, but it is also important that we be aware of this before anything, okay. Now part C. How do we fix this? Because I gotta fix this too. Guys. All right, so my method is healing our subconscious mind. Okay. From what I know is when you're going to heal something, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta admit that it's there. You gotta admit that, yeah, I'm prejudiced against my own people, against all people of color, against all people of color in general, including white people, because white people don't look like my background. Beige people, brown people, all people. Now what? What do we do now? Now we gotta change it. We gotta reinvent ourselves. That these concepts do not control our lives and how we look at one another. That there's no type of white or black supremacy, because that doesn't make sense. There's no actual facts that's actually infallible that backs up any scientific ways of looking at something besides melanin, okay? Because depending on how much melanin you have, which all things have melanin, is how you take the sun. But even the darkest shades of black can get skin cancer. So, listen. We gotta really do this as a race. Parrots don't sit here and do this shit, okay? No other squirrels don't sit here and start talking about you're brown, okay, and I'm black, so we got beef. No, it's survival of the fittest, but that's a whole nother discussion. People don't sit here, no, I'm sorry, animals don't sit here and do this. And I talk about animals because for thousands of years and now we still follow animals. So I don't want to hear nothing about how we're not animals, because we are animals, okay? We are animals. Okay, we sat here, we followed mammoths to get food. We've learned from them. And we should continuously learn from them and how they love. But the first thing we got to do to love is to understand. We got to understand the problem. I gotta tell you, I gotta understand my grandma, why she doesn't feel beautiful. As beautiful as she is. Why they don't feel good enough. Why she believes that a man should be able to do certain things but that a woman can't. I gotta understand my grandma so I can love her. And I can understand where this came from. This type of treatment. This self-generating control. So I'm speaking to all people, like I said. Whether you're black, Asian, white, whatever the German scientists put together, okay? I'm speaking to all shades. This right here, we gotta reinvent ourselves. 2017, we gotta start. Maybe next month, maybe next year. We have to start. Okay? And I love everyone. And I understand where this came from. I understand. But that doesn't mean that it's respectable. It doesn't mean that we continue to allow this to be. It doesn't make sense to allow, well, I mean, it makes sense of why the purpose was there. But if we want to move past this purpose, if we want to make America great again, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to make America great. No matter what your sex is, no matter what your color is, no matter how your hair looks, no matter what gender you are. I trust. I don't fear. I love. Because love is stronger than hate. And I respect you for who you are, all that you are. You are beautiful no matter where you came from, no matter what you look like. And nobody could take that from you. Word is bond. One love.